All right, we were talking about voters. Check out this this tweet. So Matt Pierce, where does he work? He's at
Los Angeles Times.
Los Angeles Times. He writes, hard to overstate how unpredictable talking to voters can be. Melissa from Algona, Iowa, caucused for Bernie in 2016, then voted for a Trump.
I assume it was Donald.
Yeah. She supports Medicare for all, but supports Buttigieg. But will likely vote for Trump again if Buttigieg doesn't win the Democratic nomination.
I can understand why he had a typo in that tweet after listening to this logic.
Now, so why do you think she voted for Bernie in 2016?
Well, she's a bro, obviously.
Well, she hated Clinton, right? I mean, that's clear. There's something about Buttigieg that she likes. Maybe it's a lot of his anti-Washington rhetoric. He's the only person in the race who has not been working in Washington, D.C. I'm just trying to decipher this. And that may be the thing that drives her. Hated Hillary Clinton, but voted for Trump. Hates, still likes Trump, but Buttigieg is, maybe a slight upgrade. He's a nicer version of Trump in her mind.
I imagine if you asked her, the economy would be one of the first things she cites.
Right. Scroll down, though, because okay, well, then Hayes drops in his thing, but there's another comment I think he had a little bit lower, a little bit below there. Wait, no, where is it? I mean, this is gets to my point. Oh, yeah, here he goes. I got it here. It's not all quite linear, but she likes trade protectionism, hence Trump and potentially Trump times two, the second time. Thinks Bernie has gotten too old. She likes Buttigieg because she thinks him being gay before government legalized marriage would have been morally formative for him. I don't even know what that means necessarily, that he would necessarily think that like being gay is wrong at that time. It's strange, folks. That's what we live in. Like, people don't see this in ideological lanes like we do. And Hayes's article, we should link to that, this piece. I think it's like right after like the sneakers. Yeah, boom, I just nailed you. Put Hayes's, we'll link to Hayes's piece where he talks about going door to door, canvassing and finding people with just sort of bizarre reasoning for their votes. And he makes the argument that we like politics, so we follow it. And the idea that like undecided voters are just, they're low information voters is not the case. It's that they don't like politics. And so they spend time, they pay attention, and they know they got to vote, but their cues are different. That what they take their theories are all sort of whack, as it were. And like, how would you reach Melissa? The only way you could do it, I think, is frankly by like personality and projecting an aura of confidence. Frankly, I mean, that's why I think Bernie is best suited to win.
She needs to see other people supporting Bernie around her before she begins to question this stuff, I think. I think all this stuff is sort of driven by your social circles. So if she starts seeing people around her that are excited for Bernie, she'll consider Bernie again, I think.
I think so. And if she gets the reinforcement, like the idea like that he's too old, it seems to me, can be overcome. Because too old isn't like, it's not just like, it's not an age, it's not like a number necessarily. It's like she's concerned. And that's not an off the wall concern. But if he's running in a general against Donald Trump, and Buttigieg is no longer there. I don't know. We'll see. But she's in Iowa. But these are the type of stuff I think that are, these are the issues, or non-issues, as it were. Hayes in that piece said he would go to the door and he was trying to elicit, like, what are the issues that people are voting on? And he couldn't get an answer. And then he was like, oh, maybe the problem is issues. Maybe people don't like, so he'd say like, what are your concerns? And he still wouldn't get it. People don't make, there was a guy I used to work with back in, he was my AD when we did Busey, and he did a documentary in the aughts, Red State America. I can't remember exactly what it was. And he went around to talk to people who voted for Bush, and they would complain about the same stuff that, like, they're like, the Walmart comes in here, it destroys the community, and they blah, blah, like they take the jobs and they don't care about us. Well, and then the idea was that the next thing was like, well, why, they pay all this money to the Republicans and you can vote to, and they're like, nah, it doesn't work that way. Like the relationship between politics and their lives is not there. And that's, I think, the strength of theoretically, of what Sanders' campaign is.